Yağmur Yüksel reacts to the famous actress. What really went down behind the velvet rope? Welcome to Turkish series stars. I've got a whirlwind of behind-the-scenes buzz that has turned timelines upside down and sent comment sections into a frenzy. Settle in, turn up the volume, and if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars with notifications on, because what I'm about to break down will flip the conversation and have you replaying certain clips frame by frame. Let's start where it all exploded, the new face of Yağmur Yüksel. Over the past months, her transformation has been impossible to ignore. A sleeker silhouette, a cooler blonde tone lighting up her features, a wardrobe that leans into daring lines and modern confidence. Fans have whispered, critics have shouted, and gossip pages have been counting every angle. But the storm didn't fully ignite until those close-up premiere photos hit the feed. Teeth so radiant and aligned that the internet named it before anyone could deny it, veneers. The words smile design and Hollywood grin showed up in thread after thread. Some applauded, insisting her glow looked cinematic and camera-ready. Others pined for the girl-next-door softness they associated with her earlier years. It was the exact kind of split-screen reaction that turns a red carpet into a referendum on beauty itself. Why is Yağmur's smile the headline and not the project? Because the project, ironically, made the stage big enough for the headline. The Eighth Family was already humming with anticipation long before its premiere, dark secrets, layered relationships, a brooding family saga wrapped in premium drama. It was the kind of series that draws actors who want to spar, who want to find quiet edges and dangerous subtext. And then there was the surprise that electrified longtime followers. Yağmur Yüksel and Barış Baktas working together on the same screen, in the same maze of conflict and chemistry. The moment their casting was confirmed, whispers turned to wagers. Could they translate private understanding into public heat? Would their timing sharpen or soften? Was this the test everyone said it would be? Boop Kurasezm was dressed in sparkle and restraint on the night of the premiere. You know the kind of evening? Cameras popping, stylists hovering, those little waves of energy radiating off anyone whose name made the invitations matter. The cast lined up, the publicists nudged boundaries, and then came the seconds that became a global hour, a sliver of video from the group photo. In it, Yağmur starts a step behind, then subtly advances toward Haluk Bilginer as the line tightens. Next to her, Melisa dongle shifts, a half-breath of recalibration, and for a heartbeat, it looks like space is scarce and intentions are loud. The clip traveled at lightning speed. Fight for the frame, one caption teased. Gala chess, another grinned. Memes baptized the moment while armchair body language experts declared verdicts in threads that never seemed to end. Some said it was nothing but footwork in a cramped space. Others called it a move. An actress asserting presence when the flash began to count. By midnight, the clip was trending. By morning, it felt like you'd dreamed it and it still wouldn't leave you alone. While the internet pitched its tents on the battlefield of interpretation, the parallel conversation wouldn't let go of the aesthetic angle. The blondness. The sculpted cheek. The enigmatic stillness that a new look can create even when the person is the same. People compared older photos to the new, measuring frames like detectives, debating if new makeup and lighting alone could explain a smile that seemed both brighter and more structured. Some loved it. Some didn't. Some admitted they were tired of keeping score at all. But no matter the mood, the topic held. Then, the inevitable question, would she speak? Yağmur is known for moving past noise, for letting the work inoculate the chatter. But the chatter was starting to feel like an echo chamber. The viral clip had become its own celebrity. So, she answered. Calm, wry, and quicker than expected, she told the story in a tone lighter than the headlines made room for. It was a dizzy spell, she said. I felt it coming and leaned. Melisa steadied me, thank goodness. If she hadn't been there, I might have gone down. The fact that it turned into a grand theory of intent actually made me laugh. She didn't stop there. We're a team on this series. Our production company is co-producing. We want everyone to shine in every frame. I didn't take the commentary personally, I took it as proof that people are watching. That's never a bad thing. With that, the oxygen in the room shifted. It didn't end the debate, nothing ever does, but it reframed the clip as a human moment instead of a master plan. Still, the premiere had its own pulse, and the show refused to be sidelined by a 5-second clip. On the carpet, Yağmur and Barış stood together, answering questions with those overlapping rhythms you only see between two people who know each other's cues. She wore a minimalist yet fierce evening dress, restrained fabric, bold silhouette, nothing fussy and everything chosen. The new blonde shimmered under the lights, the kind of shade that deepened her gaze rather than washed it out. Her makeup pulled the angles forward, her jewelry whispered instead of yelled. Next to her, Barış cut a figure of calculated ease, tucks precise, eyes steady, a touch of protective amusement whenever the questions edged from art into intrigue. Fans watching from their screens felt what the insiders on the carpet felt, the chemistry, the unspoken pact, the sense that shared risk can also be shared oxygen. Inside, the Eighth Family's trailer packed the room with quiet. It's not noise that sells a show like this, it's the promise of consequence. Yağmur's character breathes steel and vulnerability, a woman who can hold a storm and still ask the rain to behave. Barış plays the man who can read a room without blinking, all calculation distilled into charm and danger. It's the exact dance that audiences love when they want to feel a scene slip under their skin. The murmurs after the screening weren't about outfits or clips, they were about scenes that bit down and refused to let go. Even so, the offstage debate kept circling the same orbit, the smile. Why do we care so much? Because faces are currency in a business where a single frame can determine 1,000 opinions. Because audiences fall in love with an image and get skittish when it shifts. Because a trend, the cinematic smile, the impossibly straight enamel, has swept so many that it's become a character in itself. For Yağmur, the change arrived quickly and with precision. That is a story the internet cannot resist. Add HD close-ups, unforgiving lighting, a new hair color that echoes differently against the lens, and the theory machine revs like it was designed for this exact mission. The comments split into tribes. One camp called the transformation elegant, a powerful evolution that matched the gravity of the role she now inhabits. Another camp missed the softness, the relaxed naturalness they had stored in their memory of her. There were also those who threw their hands up at the whole conflict, pointing out that women in the spotlight are thrown into a maze no matter which path they choose. Change is criticized, staying the same is criticized, and the only constant is someone else's take on your reflection. For a while, Yağmur said nothing, and her quiet became its own storyline. Was it calculated? Was it indifference? Was it the choice to let the premiere speak louder? The people closest to her image know this truth. She's worked under the storm eye before. She picks her moments, and often, the moment is not speaking. That's why when she finally laughed about the clip and thanked Melisa for being exactly where she needed her, the words landed. Not as a defense, not as a performance, more like an exhale that belonged to her. Let's not forget the scene partners in this saga. Melisa Dongle, composed in the frame, sharp in her timing, became the unexpected axis of the viral debate, first framed as a rival for space, then revealed as a quiet rescuer. The camera caught one story, the people inside it were living another. And Haluk Bilginer, the legend at the center of the photogeometry, didn't have to say a word. His presence magnetizes a shot on instinct. If you're an actress who has waited years to share the rectangle of a lens with him, of course you will align when gravity pulls. That alignment made sound bites. But in truth, it was simply an actor's reflex meeting the physics of a crowded stage. The night moved forward with the discipline of a production day. Interviews were wrapped. Congratulations were exchanged. The online swirl kept writing its own chapters while the cast let the work take over. By the time the first reviews trickled in, they were talking about performances, about a dinner scene that wouldn't let you breathe, about a monologue that stitched fear into tenderness and forced you to question who you were rooting for. That's the balance a premiere prays for. The spectacle gives way to substance, and the gossip is refiled as background noise to the thing that matters. As for the relationship at the center of all this, the on-screen trial many were waiting to score. Ask anyone who watched closely and they'll tell you the same thing. Yağmur and Barış listened to each other. It's in the half-second pauses, the eye contact that doesn't turn into theater, the way a line can be softer when the other person is there to catch it. If you were ready to write it off as mere comfort, you might have missed the danger underneath. There's electricity and safety too, if you know how to light it. That's why the pairing works, not because they are overcompensating, but because they aren't. When he answered a question about working together, Barış smiled with the kind of ease that comes from labor, not luck. "We came to play," he said. "When the camera rolls, that's the only contract." It sounded like a headline because it was also a vow. By the time the sun set on the discourse about blondness and bite shapes, a quieter truth settled in. Transformations are part costume, part evolution, part self-defense. In a world where a still frame outlives a scene, choosing how you want to be seen is its own authorship. Yağmur's choice this season is a bolder face, a sharper silhouette, a smile that declares itself under the flash. You can love it, you can miss the gentleness of before, you can hold both ideas in the same palm. Meanwhile, the work continues. The eighth family is the arena, the audience is the jury, and the verdict, if there ever is one, arrives slowly, carried by episodes and not memes. So here's the whole truth beneath the rumor. A faint heartbeat moment almost turned into a stumble, a colleague became a lifeline, a clip became a carnival, and a star answered with humor. A new look arrived not with an apology, but with intention. A couple stepped onto a set and decided to risk their private rhythm in public time, and the risk paid off in sparks you can't choreograph. The rest is commentary, and commentary is a tide. Today it's veneers. Tomorrow it's a scene that won't leave your head. And the day after that, you'll forget the geometry of a photo and remember the geometry of a performance. You've just heard what the cameras didn't explain, and what the whispers left out. I'll keep my eye on the set and the social feeds so you don't have to refresh 100 times. Drop your take below. Do you think the smile suits the storm of this role, or do you miss the unguarded glow? Are you convinced by the on-screen chemistry, or do you want it to simmer hotter in the next episode? Your comments shape what we chase next. If you felt the pulse of this dive, like the video, subscribe to Turkish series stars, and ring the bell so you're the first to catch the next wave. Until then, hold on to your theories, because this story is still unfolding, and the brightest flash rarely tells the whole story.